Alright, let's see. Now we want to, we'll get rid of this little pink right there. So we'll grab part of the image. We'll get rid of that. So now we'll focus on this section right here. We can select our layer. We'll actually clone this part of the bottom image. This way it kind of looks almost the same as the bottom. And the trick is to kind of blend everything in together, so it looks like the same. So it's like a seamless transition between the original image and your copy paste job. And you can hold down the spacebar to give you the hand, so you can just click, left click, and drag the image around, if that helps. I find that it does help me with it. There's a little spot up here, but I'm not going to worry about that at the moment. Yeah, maybe I will. Just take a second. There we go, there's that part. What we got to worry about now is this little yellow line right here. And that's pretty simple to take care of. What we'll do, since this line kind of goes almost the same direction, we'll clone this part of the image. And why I'm doing this is because it looks almost similar to the angle at which this part should have gone. So that's the tricky part about cloning and taking away an image from somewhere. You have to kind of match up angles. That looks pretty good right there. And there's a little spot right here I'll take care of real quick, and then we can move on to the next step. Alright, once you're done with that, now we want to blend it with the Paint With Me layer. So actually what we're going to do is just right click and say merge down. And if you want, you can save it. It's always best to save it at this point. And you can save it in stages if you want, with the different layers. That way you can go back to another time instead of using all the undos. So now this is our towel so far, and as you can see, it actually blends, our copy paste job actually blends in pretty decent with the original towel. So now what we want to take care of is this part right here we'll deal with right now. And that's the other thing too, is figuring out what part to deal with first, second, third, all that. So we'll deal with this part at the moment. So again, before you begin, just type new layer, and go select the paint with me. And at this point, since it's not really a big area, we can just paint this freehand. So you want to clone this area and paint with this area. So go ahead and click the left Alt key. When you get the crosshairs, you can click anywhere and then start painting. Now on this certain portion, we're only going to go up this far right here where this end of the towel seam is. So we're going to be dealing with that in a little bit here. Alright, there's that so far. And actually on this one we can merge it down with the paint with me. Otherwise we won't be able to clone the portion that we just put on to our image. So now we want to take care of this part right here. And that's a pretty simple process right there. Grab your new layer, and all we have to do is clone this part right here. So just left Alt and click where you want to begin. And actually we want to start here, so we can even click right above there and start painting. You don't have to get it precisely on this line or on the seam, because we're going to be rebuilding that anyways. And then switch back and forth between layers. So that way you can paint. And click anywhere in there. Actually, down far enough on that one. Now we're going to do the yellow. The hardest part is choosing what part of the image you want as the clone source, because you kind of have to match, especially when it comes to removing blemishes and all that. It's kind of tricky to figure out what part of the image looks best, and to make it look more natural. And there's that. Our seam actually goes, and this is the tricky part too when you're recreating something. So you can see our seam, and it looks like it might go straight across with a bunch of curves and all that. So it's always best to give yourself a little bit more than you need. I'm going to go right here, go right there, do this, do that. go. Alright, so now we're going to merge that layer down. Paint with me. And we're going to save it at this point since I haven't done that yet. And I'll name it that ASV blah blah. And there's that part so far.